Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? How's it hanging? Fit check. I'm a bottle of sriracha. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing good. I'm getting some weird air about the stream quality. I don't know if that's fucking true or not, but y'all can let me know. Hopefully you guys like my costume. See, it's even got the nozzle head. You guys don't understand the effort I went through to make this happen. Because normally I use a green screen, but with the green screen you can't see the head because it's green, so it was all blacked out. So I literally changed to a blue screen to make this happen. So I hope you guys appreciate the effort that I put in to make this happen. Okay. So I'm dressed up as a big bottle of sauce. I'm about to drop some sauce for y'all. We're going to have a good stream. I'm sorry I'm late. Usually I start these around 3:30 or 4. And I understand it is almost the weekly close now. So I apologize for the delay. I'm dealing with a bit of a hangover. So I apologize in advance. I got after it a little bit last night, went to the hockey game, had some beers with some friends, and then had several more. So I'm not a carrot. I'm a bottle of sriracha. I'm hot sauce because I'm super hot and I'm fucking dripping with sauce. All right, cool. So let's get into it. We got 130, 140 people here watching. Let's pump those likes up. Let's get 50 likes and let's get going. So cool. What's up to everyone in the chat? What's up, JV from the Philippines? How you doing? Okay, so let's get into it. I'm going to try and be as professional and smart sounding as someone who is dressed up in a child's Halloween costume can be, which is not very, but I will do my best. Yes, I'm Canadian. How do people still wonder if I'm Canadian? How is this not known? How is this not known? Okay, so let's get into it. Try and ignore the big floppy phallus looking thing on my head and pay attention to the seriousness of the tone of my voice and the very important things we're going to be discussing today. Very, very, very important stuff. So we're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at Ethereum. Not a ton has changed in our analysis in the last, week. From like a high time frame perspective, it's been pretty choppy around this all-time high area, which, at the end of the day is not super duper surprising. If you remember back here, when we broke 20K, right, the previous all-time high, we chopped around at the level and then we ripped. And so hopefully that is kind of a similar situation, right? We're going to be chopping around at this all-time high here. And then we are going to launch into the absolute fucking stratosphere. Obviously, in terms of, levels of resistance, I don't really see any. Could you consider, some of these areas, right, as potential resistances? Sure. But to me, these are very much short-term resistance areas. This is kind of what I posted the other day. These are kind of the two most likely scenarios that I see happening for Bitcoin here is we either get back above this all-time high SFP level here, right, and then break out, or we have a deeper dip, maybe this has another leg down, and then we come into this support area here around 53K, and then launch, right? Maybe run this low, and then go. But I mean, I'm thinking that 58K is solid support here. So that level is from the 3-day chart. So I'll just delete everything here. So 58K comes from this right here. Okay. To me, this is a very, very clear kind of breaker type of SR flip that we have going on here, right? So the up candle that caused the down move, broke market structure to the downside. We came back up to it. We nuked through. We're now retesting. This candle alone confirms to me that this is an area of support. So I think you're a bidder. I think you're a bidder here, right? And you're bullish here. So we talked about longing here. I've talked about this as being an area of support, and I think that remains to be the case for now. If we get under this level, the next area of interest for support is right here. I think that 50 kind of 2 to 53K area, which would be this kind of breaker setup. So either way, whether it's from here or it's from here, I think we resolve with going higher. I would be very, very, very surprised. I'm sorry, excuse me. I'd be very, very surprised if this entire run that we just saw here, after multi-month consolidation, breakout, multi-month consolidation, right? A breakout, a retest of the consolidation, a clear higher low, bullish market structure on the high time frame. I'd be very surprised if this ends in a double top. Very surprised. You don't really see double tops happen that often in crypto. So I don't know. I don't believe that this is the end of the run. I'm not surprised we're chopping around up here, fudding people out before the next move, fucking them up with some, up, down, sideways kind of annoying PA. But, at the end of the day, I think the move here is to be bullish. As long as we're above 58K, absolutely bullish, all the way down to, this area being bullish. If we get below here, like if this just drops like a rock below here, below this block, below 50K, I might start being worried that this was, some big fucking pump, and whoever accumulated here is now distributed and this thing's going to go way back down. That would be the only instance where I would get kind of worried that this run is over. But for now, we're reacting to support. We're chilling at all-time high. Alts are running. So as much as we're having some sideways fuckery, there's been lots of money to be made in alts where Bitcoin's kind of stalling out here and going sideways. I remain bullish, and I think, the scenarios that I posted on Twitter, this is kind of what I'm watching for still here, right? So those are just those same levels, right? There's that 3-day candle. There's all-time high. There's that 52 to kind of 50 block. These are the two main scenarios I'm watching. I think this is going to break out sooner than later. So I'm patient. I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I'm buying dips if I'm given the opportunity on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. What would be the bearish case, right? What would be the bearish argument? I'm just looking at myself in the camera and I'm just like, what have I become? Like if a younger Mayne was to watch this stream and just see me at 31 on a Sunday afternoon, it's beautiful outside, there's football on, and I'm sitting here hungover, dressed up as a hot sauce bottle, streaming to a couple hundred people talking about fucking Bitcoin. What would he have thought? But like, I just look ridiculous. The costume goes hard, man. Like, we gotta do a little fit check here. Sorry to interrupt the stream, but like this thing goes, like it goes down. Like I'm fucking bottled up, bro. It goes hard. Anyways, what would be the bearish argument here? So if you're saying, okay, I want reasons to, maybe look to be bearish, look to get into shorts or something like that, what would those situations be? So the only thing that I could, kind of from a chart perspective, again, for me, would be a few, right? If we're below, I'm going to mark out those areas of SR that I like here. So if we get another run above this high, oops, what the fuck is that? If we got another move above this high and then failed back below it again, right? Kind of like we did here, deviation, that would be a short trigger for me. I think if we lose this 58K level, you could comfortably get into shorts down into here, but I'm a buyer here. And obviously, if we lose this area, right, and get below 50K, I would start getting worried. And yeah, I'd be looking to, maybe start shorting some bounces. But, I do think that for now, dips to 58 are for buying. A flip of this is for buying. A dip to here is for buying. If you want to short in between, you can. But I'm not really interested. From kind of a fundamental, or fundamental is not even the right word, from a outside of TA kind of look at why things, could potentially be bearish. Coinbase is listed really high on the App Store, right? A lot of retail interest. We're seeing DOGE and Shiba Inu and dog coins and cat coins and multitude of other shit coins pumping. Something that, also happened here, right? The last time Doge and all those fucking shit coins went crazy was here. That could be a cause for concern. The fact that we, kind of broke above all-time high and then, failed to maintain bullish price action could be, potentially viewed as bearish. What the fuck just happened to my lighting? The sun is fucking reflecting off this building and it's blinding me. Hold on. We're back. Sorry about that. So there's some cause for, potential alarm bells, right? Retail is getting very noisy and frothy. A lot of the shit coins, BSC coins are pumping, dog coins are pumping, really low cap coins are fucking pumping. We broke above all-time high and then, put in a massive SFP. So, there are some arguments to be bearish for sure. But I'm still being optimistic and leaning towards this just being kind of a shakeout before higher prices. If we start losing key SR, like if we lose this area, okay, then I'll be more concerned. But as long as we're trading above 58K, to be honest with you, I think it's kind of hard to have a bearish argument from a TA perspective. Like this to me just looks like a, break of a high, right? Ran this high. Now we're consolidating and we're going to go up again. That's just my opinion. But there are some potential alarm bells that I'm not saying are a reason to sell all of your crypto and get the fuck out, but it's something to pay attention to, right? Because these things, it's not like it, retail gets frothy and then the market crashes. It takes some time, right? And so if you remember here, we had very similar kind of things happening in terms of, the frothiness of retail, the shit coins pumping, Dogecoin and fucking Shiba Inus and all that kind of crap, low caps pumping right as the market tops. So some red flags, be aware of them, pay attention to them. What are your friends and family saying, right? Me personally, I have a ton of friends reaching out to me again, very similar to, what I had back here. It doesn't mean we're done, right? They could, we could go to 80K and then fucking crash or whatever. And people are just talking about it again because we're, at a previous all-time high. So I do have a lot of friends who are asking me about getting into crypto now. Should I be putting money in? And it was really quiet, a few months ago when we were down here. So again, I've got a lot of friends and family asking about crypto now. We've got the retail, frothiness picking up. Coinbase highly listed on the App Store. Shit coins pumping. Red flags, be aware of them. But at the end of the day, as you guys know, I focus on the chart. I'm a very serious trader. I'm a very serious man. That's why they call me Trader Mayne. That's why I'm verified on Twitter. Everyone's asking, how did Trader Mayne get verified before Rookie? How did Trader Mayne get verified before Cobain, before Altcoin Psycho, before Kaleo? How? This is how. Because I'm the literal definition of sauce. That's how. Okay? Sauce is forever. Go look in your fridge. You got barbecue sauce from a year ago. It's still there and it's still good. Sauce is forever. But yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of, there's some red flags. There's some reasons to potentially, have your ears up, right? Or your nozzles. Have your nozzles up and alerted to the fucking bloopers for this video are gonna be so funny. Have your ears up and be aware. But for now, from a price action perspective, I'm still bullish. Just looking at this, right? Like other than this SFP, this price action to me, right, is bullish. We're consolidating above an SR flip. I mean, this SFP is annoying for sure, but this to me is bullish. Here we had, these kind of three lesser highs. We had the break in market structure. We had bearish PA setting up. There's no real bearish PA setting up here yet. Doesn't mean that we can't, but for now, the PA here is still bullish. If we lose this low, lose this support, then potentially we can talk about some short scenarios. But for now, I'm leaning on buying the dips and being, cautiously bullish. So now that the macro kind of conversation is out of the way, let's zoom in a little bit and let's see if we can talk about kind of some more short-term potential trade scenarios for this coming week. So it is an important close here in about 3 minutes. We have the weekly close and the monthly close. Excuse me. So I don't know where the CME gap is. I think it's around like 63K. Someone in the chat, let me know where the CME price closed. And I think we definitely went down over the weekend. But in terms of, trades for the intraday for this week, I think a very clear long, if we get above here, right? I think you immediately look to long any sort of lower time frame pullback. Alternatively, what I want to see, right? We kind of have this potential, pattern breaking out here, right? Where it's like, okay, we've got our downtrend line, breakout, retest, and boom. So that could be it, right? Like we could be seeing this kind of downtrend leveling off, whereas we were going down quite steep here. Okay. Right? Clear downtrend, lower lows, lower highs. And now it looks like this is potentially, flipping. Price is kind of giving us almost an over-under type of move here where we had our low, deviate below the low. We're now back above it. So what we want to see here is this be a higher low for price to continue to trade up, right? So if you're looking at like the H4, this would be the level of interest for me that I want to see kind of hold for the bulls right here. Right? So this is kind of your deviation level here, right? This is your range low. That's your deviation. We're back above the low here. So I want to see this hold ideally as a higher low. If we roll over here like this, right? I'm looking to buy some sort of dip or kind of, bullish PA around the 58K handle. Maybe we run this low and then, get back above. But that would be the buy the dip zone for me. But for now, leaning cautiously bullish. And obviously, if we can maintain this low, right? Again, same concept here. There's your low. We ran above it, ran below it. So now if we can get above here, 62, I think you can long that with your stop here, right? That would be kind of the most short-term play that's kind of popping out at me here. We're above this range low support, deviated, right? I want to now see effectively this large fractal play out on a smaller time frame right here. We ran the low, okay? Well, where's the high that generated that low? It's right here, right? So this becomes your play. That's your risk. Above there is your trigger. Stop goes there. Target 1. And then obviously if we can get above here, target infinity, right? That would be kind of the short-term play I see. Again, if we lose this low, I think you're looking to get bullish around 58K. This is where you look for that setup to form. All right. Does that make sense to everyone? Ah, my brain. What am I wearing? I'm wearing a sriracha bottle. It's Halloween. Come on, get in the spirit. Um, all right. Just checking the chat here real quick. My nozzle is ready to squirt. Ew. Gross. Hey, what are your sources for these? I don't even know what that means. Um, tell us about shitcoins. Where do you see the metaverse and Doge's pumping? I'm not like a very good shitcoin trader. Like I made most of my money buying Bitcoin and Ethereum early, and then leverage trading Bitcoin and Ethereum and some other altcoins, and being just early into things like Sol and stuff like that. In terms of like true shitcoin degeneracy, there are so many better accounts to follow. Like Crypto Messiah, Hasaka. These are the kind of guys who I look at when they're talking about shitcoins and metaverse plays and things like that. Like that's who I'm paying attention to. I'm more of like a fucking old boomer trader. I'm not nearly smart enough to fucking complete sentences. Apparently, I'm not smart enough. I don't have the mental kind of capacity to keep track of all the different shit going on in crypto. I find that it's very overwhelming trying to keep up with all the different things that are going on, all the different ecosystems and blah, blah, blah. So what I've done is I've surrounded myself with smart friends who are more plugged into that shit. And I know what I do well, and what I do well is, trade ranging and trending markets on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's kind of where I, focus most of my capacity mentally. I'm not completely ignoring shit coins and stuff like that, but like I'm not the one who's, kind of doing the deep dive in research and be like, okay, the next move is play to earn games. So I want to get into some gaming tokens. And what are those tokens? Where can I trade them? I'm more like going to Hasaka's page or going into Discords that I'm in with friends and be like, yo, what the fuck do I need to ape into irresponsibly? And I'll blame you if I lose money. I do think that there are some good narrative plays still to be had. We've seen things like Sand and stuff Moon recently. We've seen other dog coins and cat coins Moon after Shiba Inu went up. So I do think there's narrative plays to be made still, but I'm not very good at finding those narratives and then finding the associated coins. I kind of just tail other really smart people and focus my monkey brain on just pressing the red and green button on Delta Exchange, which is now where I'm trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that is the partner. Almost forgot. That is the partner for the stream. So shout out to Delta. Very much looking forward to working with you guys going forward. All the info you need is in the description of the video, but you can get up to $30,000 in deposit bonuses. So if you deposit $5K, you get some extra free money to trade with. If you deposit $10K, you get even more. And it's up to $30,000 of free money, essentially. So definitely check that out. And you also get 10% off of all your trading fees if you use the delta.exchange/Mayne code in the description. Weekly close. We just had our monthly close. Let's look here. Weekly close, kind of right? Monthly close, pretty fucking strong. I find it really hard to be, super duper bearish when the monthly candle looks like this, right? Ethereum as well, right? Like, look at the monthly candle on Ethereum. That just, I don't know. Could it be the top? Maybe, right? I mean, look at this monthly candle before, the end. I don't know. But just based on us being right back up at this high, I don't know. I don't see it. I think both of these monthly closes are pretty fucking strong. And I'm pretty bullish. Okay, the CME was trading at 62.4. So let's see if we go in and fill that CME gap. But yeah, the monthly close looks pretty fucking good on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, I would say. And I base that on my eyeballs. That's my source for this stunning analysis here. Okay, so let's see if either of those little short-term trade ideas that I laid out for you guys play, and we can kind of go from there, right? Let's just wait and see what Monday brings PA wise, right? Ran the low, okay, risk, trigger, target. Let's see if that plays out. Anyone got any questions about Bitcoin specifically before I move on to Ethereum, or is my kind of high time frame plan make sense? Does all of my rambling and rantings make sense? Can you even take me seriously when I'm dressed as a bottle of hot sauce? Mayne would be a good teacher in school. I always liked the idea of being a teacher, but they don't make enough money. Mayne, why not long now with the same stop loss? It's a better entry, not without waiting for the resistance to support flip. Are you wrong? Of course you're wrong, because you're disagreeing with me. Come on. You could long now, but what is your reason for being long? Right? The reason my trigger is here is because I have a belief that if we get above this high, this low was a stop run, which helps me define my risk, meaning, okay, now I have a thesis for my entry. If you're just entering here, what happens if we just do this, right? This move above here gives me confirmation that price wants to go higher. It doesn't mean that it will, right? Like, we could come up here, right, and do what I thought. We could also come up here, right, and then dump. But based on how long I've been trading and the types of setups that I take, more often than not, when I see a move like this, if we get above that high that generated that, kind of stop run there, usually I have an expectancy that price wants to trade higher after the fact, and that's based on years of data and taking similar trades. So I'm willing to make a calculated bet, an educated guess that I can enter if this scenario happens. Entering here, I have no edge. I don't know. This could fucking just reject right here, right? And then go down. Yes, it's a better entry if what happens, what I think happens ends up happening, but I don't have a reason to get in there. I don't have an entry trigger right here. I would just be entering in anticipation of a potential SR flip, which is maybe what you want to do. I don't know. Do whatever the hell you want, I guess. But I'm waiting for my entry trigger to play out, give me that confirmation and that confidence to go put money at risk, right? You can't take me seriously. Why the fuck not? I'm a very serious individual. How does BTC, with a bullish narrative, will affect altcoins in the next few days, weeks? I mean, if Bitcoin is bullish and it's going up and Ethereum's going up, that's going to be generally pretty good for altcoins, right? If the whole market is bullish, that's awesome, right? You want Bitcoin either going up or like sideways, right? For altcoins. If Bitcoin puts in a big ass like God candle, like a ripper, the risk would be that obviously Bitcoin, based alts, right? So, your alt BTC pairs might, take a beating. But generally your alt USD pairs are going to also, go up with Bitcoin, maybe not as much. Go watch my videos on ratios if you want to know why. But that would be kind of the risk, right? If you're trading alts versus Bitcoin or versus Ethereum, and Ethereum or Bitcoin have a really strong bullish candle, right? It could wreck those pairs a little bit, but overall, you want the market to be bullish. Like if everything is bullish, it's better. Are you going trick or treating? No, I'm not. I literally put on this costume just for you guys, so I hope you appreciate it. Mayne, could the close be interpreted as a monthly swing failure pattern? Technically, yes. Technically, yes. Because we have a swing high here. We ran above it and we closed below. So technically, it is a bearish monthly swing failure pattern. Oh my God, what the fuck? So yes, technically, yes, but I'm not looking at it as that, but you could. If BTC goes to 52K, do you think it will get bought up or crab for months? I'm a dip buyer at 52K. Like I don't think that it just goes sideways for months. Like if we come down here, I'm looking to buy and I'm looking for price to start moving up relatively quickly, right? Seasonality wise, right? November, December, generally bullish for Bitcoin. So hopefully more up soon. If we break all-time high, what will be your first TP? I don't know. I would like, 6-digit Bitcoin, obviously. 6-digit. It just sounds crazy. I mean, I would love 100K. I don't really know. I mean, you could use like fibs and say, okay, well, from the low here to the high, right? What are your extensions? A 1-to-1 extension of this entire move is 100K, right? You could put your fib on your 1618 is 90K. Your 2618 is 127. You can also do your put on some of these other ones here, like your what do I want here? What's the default one? What the fuck is that? What the fuck are half of these fibs, man? I swear to God. There's your 1-to-1. I guess you could put on your quarters. Like where's like 0.25? $85K. So I mean, you can use fibs for profit setting, right? And assume that the market moves in measured moves and say, okay, well, measuring this price swing, putting a, 1 standard deviation or half a standard deviation above could be your target. But I'm more of the mindset of like letting it ride until price tells me it wants to go lower, right? If we're making higher lows and higher highs on the high time frame, right? Like it's no different than here, right? Like if you're getting out at 60K, to me, the trigger to get out, right, was when the daily market structure broke. Okay, now we need to be looking for signs that price might be reversing. But as long as it's maintaining high time frame market structure, I think you just stay in your longs. Arbitrarily, you could be like, okay, if Bitcoin gets to 100K, I'm taking profit. Sure. Do whatever you want. I did that on this run at 50K. I was like, if Bitcoin, when I was buying like way back here, I was like, if it gets to 50K, I'm taking some money off the table. And it went higher, but you have to live with that. Like, let's say it gets to 100K, you sell a bunch, and it goes to 150. Are you going to fucking shit yourself? Like, are you going to be upset? Are you going to be able to handle that? I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do get above this previous all-time high that we easily reach into the $70,000 or $80,000 area, especially if we're consolidating here for another breakout. Can I play Red Hot Chili Peppers Californication? Not without getting copyright striked. What time frames do you use for confirmation? It depends, right? It's up to you. That setup I showed you was the 4-hour chart, right? You can trade on you as long as you're doing top-down analysis, right? High time frame analysis for your directional bias, your key SR levels, and then your lower time frames are for your entries, your target setting, your risk, and the actual trade setup. Generally, I'm doing my analysis on the weekly and the 3-day, down to maybe as low as like the 12-hour / daily, and then I'm executing on the 4-hour and the 1-hour. That's generally what I'm doing, but it's still always top down, right? High time frame is these ones. They're bullish, so on these time frames, I'm looking for bullish setups at key SR levels that I found on these time frames, right? Looking for those entries on these time frames. You want to make sure that this time frame's trend is up. If this time frame is going down, I'm not shorting. I'm waiting for it to hit my key level and then get back in sync with the higher time frame trend, right? Because in a 3-day uptrend, like this, there's going to be a bunch of low time frame, up and down. But over the 3 days, it's up. So you don't want to get shook out by this. You want to get in on trades when it's in sync with that high time frame trend. Are you using Bollinger Bands on this time frame? I don't use Bollinger Bands at all. How you will make entry for this plan? You set offer or watch until hourly close, then entry? Depends. Maybe I'm on the computer and I'm watching. If I'm not, I set alerts, right? So very simply, if I'm looking to get in that trade idea I just shared with you guys, I'm going to set an alert probably here and probably here. And then if it goes off, I'm going to open up my computer and I'm going to check what price is doing. And if it does what I want, then I'm going to get in the trade. Or maybe I'm going to be on screen and watching, right? It depends how you trade, what you're doing, right? If you're entering on the 5-minute chart, you got to be staring at it. If I'm entering based on the 4-hour, I don't need to stare at the entire 4-hour candle, right? I can wait for my alarm to go off and then wait for the candle to close and then make my decision. You have a little bit more time. Do you ever trade or look at the 1 or 5-minute charts? I've scalped before. It's not something I personally enjoy. It's too stressful for me. I just don't really like it. Let me do whatever I want, you bloody sauce. I don't know. For some reason that sounds sexual to me and I don't like it. Are there any differences between high time frame and low time frame PA? I don't even really fully understand the question because that's a very, very broad, open-ended question. So I don't really know how to respond. Price moves the same on, all different time frames, right? But it's about putting the pieces of the puzzle together. What is a 1-day candle, right? Well, it's, 2 12-hour candles. It's, however many 4-hour candles or 24 1-hour candles, right? So the bigger time frames break down into smaller time frames, and the smaller time frames add up to the bigger time frames. But the way that I view PA is the same, right? I'm using SR, I'm using order blocks, I'm looking for runs of levels and reclaims and things like that on all different time frames. Do you believe in a parabolic run on BTC before the end of the year? I don't know. What do you call this? Is this not a parabolic run that we're already in the midst of? All right, there's so much going on in the chat. Guys, I have a ton of education. I'm getting a lot of, I don't know if there's a bunch of new viewers today or something, but I'm getting a ton of very basic questions on here about just kind of general PA and shit like that. I have a ton of videos on my channel, guys. The order block video, my ratios videos, the altcoin videos, old streams that you should definitely go and watch, not just to pump up my YouTube numbers, which you absolutely should, but where I talk about how do I mark the charts up from top down? I have an entire, go type in Trader Mayne range trading. I have an entire stream where I cover range trading and how to draw ranges and use them. So I definitely suggest, if you have a lot of kind of questions like that, go watch some of my old content. Like the price action obviously is not relevant because it's older streams, but the concepts that I discuss are very much still relevant and usable. So I highly suggest you guys check those out, because there's a ton of really good stuff on there. I talk about using weekly open strategies, daily open strategies, ranges, order blocks, doing top-down analysis. You just got to kind of, I didn't do a very good job of naming the videos, but just go watch some old streams. And like a lot of these questions you guys have will be answered. I am going to be trying to spend the rest of the year making my YouTube channel a little bit more user-friendly, like have, a playlist of just educational concepts, a playlist for live streams, a playlist for podcasts or whatever shit like that. But as it stands right now, 90% of the educating I've done has been in the form of live streams. So if you really are keen, go watch old streams. I drop tons of sauce, pun fully intended, in those old streams. So I highly suggest you check those out. All right. I'm going to look at Ethereum now, and then we will take a few. I look like an Arab Khalifa. What's that even mean? I'm a sriracha bottle. I'm a hot sauce bottle. Like, come on. Look at Ethereum here, and then I'll take some altcoin requests. So I see a few of you guys dropping some altcoin tags. So just wait a little bit. Let me go over Ethereum, and then I will cover those altcoins. So again, weekly close, pretty strong. Monthly close, very strong. I do like what we're seeing on Ethereum here. I mean, last week we talked about this order block here, right? Being like, hey, price can just launch from right here. We're in it, boom. Same thing here, right? Another 3-day order block right there, came into it. We're pushing away. So, I definitely am leaning bullish on Ethereum. I think you should be too. As long as we're maintaining, now we have a new order block that's formed here, right? As long as we're maintaining above this, I don't think there's a reason to be, bearish on Ethereum. I think this is getting ready for a major leg up. And to me, 5,000 is just kind of the magnet, right? The big round number, psychological number. So I think this, maybe we dip down here one more time, but I think overall we're going to 5K. Zooming in a little bit here. Okay, we have our previous all-time high here. Okay, that's what this level is. And then we have, what is this fucking level from? 12 hour? I guess. Okay, and then we have our kind of clear SR flip here. It's this order block, right? So the down candle before the up move that broke market structure. It's also like a previous range. We have this kind of trading range here, from here to here, right? We're in this range, pull back, break out. We form a new range. This is your range low. The old all-time high is your range high. So as long as we're staying above here, right, flip this level, we should go to 5K. So that's kind of what I'm watching for right now. Like if we can get above here, make a new high, I'm buying the dip, stop there, target 5K, right? Alternatively, if Bitcoin wants to shit the bed, and Ethereum decides to shit the bed too, I'm a buyer down at 36, right? If we, kind of break down here, you could take a short on the underside of 4K, I guess, but I'm looking at a run of this low, and I'm looking to buy into this kind of high time frame support here, right? Nice daily order block right here. You got this breaker block as well. So to me, this whole area, right, this is a buy the dip zone if we come down here. I don't know if we will, but if we do, I'm a buyer down here. So that's kind of the scenarios that I'm watching for on Ethereum, right? I'm looking for either a breakout, which we're very close to right now, like just make a higher high here, get in on a dip. If we get some sort of market-wide crash, I'm looking to buy 4K. Like to me, Bitcoin at 58K, I think Ethereum is here at 4K, and I'm a buyer. If Bitcoin goes to 50 to 53K, like that deeper pullback I was talking about, I think Ethereum probably goes around 35, 3,600, and I'm a buyer down there as well. Ideally, for both Bitcoin and Ethereum, we just do this little path, just break out and fucking rip. So that's what I'm watching for on Ethereum right now. Let's see if we can get above here. Let's see if we can put some bullish price action in, make a higher high. Very similar setup to Bitcoin here, right? We just ran that low. There's the high that generated the low, right? If we get above here, your risk goes here, right? Target 5K, I'm dying. Right? So what would that look like? Just over 2R. I'm happy with that. How do you get a better risk reward, right? Let's say you're like, okay, I want a better risk reward. You don't just go like this. I mean, you could just put a really tight stop, but what you actually do if you want to get a better risk reward, right, is you zoom in and you say, okay, well, actually on this time frame, right, you got your same levels here. You would wait for, let's say we get like something like this. We get that breakout, okay? You're going to then use the lower time frame and say, okay, well, based on the hourly, here's the low that generated that high. So if I'm entering here, okay, I'm comfortable putting my stop here, right? And then your target being 5K, that's going to get you an even better risk reward than the original setup. But the original setup's based on a higher time frame, right? So the stop is wider, right? Now you got, all of a sudden you got a, oops, of course. All of a sudden you got a 10R trade here. But you're using the lower time frame to define your risk. What is the risk here? Is that, let's say we get this, low, high, we break out here. It could come down here, right? Put in a higher low like this and then go. That short-term trade got stopped out. The high time frame trade is still in. So the way to get tighter risk reward is not to just move your stop closer to your entry just arbitrarily, right? You need to have a reason for where your stop is and why. The reason I would put my stop here is because, to me, if this gets above here, this was a fake out, and therefore price should not come back here. Therefore, that is where this trade idea would be wrong, right? That's why I'm putting my stop there. You don't just move your stop up to get a better risk reward. If you want a better risk reward, if you're saying, hey, this is too far from the entry, which is way up here, you zoom into the lower time frame and you use a lower time frame trade trigger. So if the high time frame is going to do this, well, on the low time frame here, I can find a bullish setup that will offer me a better risk reward than potentially this high time frame setup. You go in on the low time frame, you look for a similar move, right? We come up to the SR level, we come down to it, and you see, okay, it goes like this, and then maybe it does one of these. Well, now within this box here, you've got a setup where your trigger's there, right? And your stop is here, and you've got a much tighter setup relative to the high time frame setup. That's how you get a tighter risk reward. You zoom in, you find a lower time frame trigger where your risk is defined on the smaller time frame. You don't just arbitrarily move your entry. Like if you're just like, oh, well, I want a better risk reward, and Mayne says his stops here, target's 5 or whatever, right? If this is not good enough for you, you don't just go like, oh, okay, well, I'll just move my stop up to here. Because, well, why? Where's the idea wrong? And based on the 4-hour chart and that setup I showed you, the idea is wrong down here. So the only way to get better risk reward would be to dial in and find a lower time frame entry, not just arbitrarily moving your stop. Your stop doesn't go where the risk reward is favorable. If you're like, I want it to be 3 hours, so my stop goes here. That's not what you do. Your stop goes where the trade idea is wrong. And then you use your position sizing based on how far you determine your position sizing, based on how far your stop is from your entry and all that fucking fun stuff. All right, does everything make sense? Sorry, one sec, guys. All right, is everyone on the same page? Does everything make sense? I've given you pretty clear plans for short-term movement on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, as well as kind of my high time frame thoughts as well. All right, we are getting into BitBoy said we don't need a stop loss on Cardano. Well, BitBoy's a fucking idiot. Okay. All right. We'll do a couple altcoin requests. Actually, let's really quickly look at FBTC here. What the fuck? I had analysis on this mother trucker. Oh, there we go. That was weird. It's like it knew I was angry and my levels all just magically reappeared. So yeah, I mean, FBTC we talked about in the last video, right? We're within these two levels here. We formed a very nice range. Price is consolidating. And to me, it looks like it's gearing up to break out, right? So we had this 3-day resistance that we were into last week. We've poked through it here and we're pushing up. I do believe that when this pattern resolves, it will be to the upside. You know, I still am of the mindset that this is just like a giga uptrend from way back here, right? And this is like our first real big leg up, right? This is going to be a higher low, and we're going to, eventually go to here. So I do think this pattern resolves to the upside. Whether we have one more stab down first, I don't know. But I do believe that this does resolve in the upside, and it's going to lead to, much higher prices on Ethereum USD. So still consolidating here, waiting for this to resolve. Feels like we've been in this range forever, and we have been in this kind of range for several months now. But I do think price is constricting a little bit, and I think if we can get above here and start putting in some bullish PA, right, I think we're eventually gonna, have another big leg up to 0.1, which is fucking crazy. What vegetable am I? I'm sriracha hot sauce, man. All right. So yeah, and obviously for altcoins, if this chart is bullish, right, think of this as effectively altcoin dominance, right? Like if this chart is bullish, this is a good proxy for the altcoin market as a whole. And if this is going up, that's a good look for altcoins. But again, how complex do you want to get in your trading and your investing and rotating between different assets? Are you just buying and holding? Or are you very actively managing your portfolio? Because if Ethereum BTC, let's say, breaks out and rips like this, that means Ethereum USD is going to be outperforming Bitcoin. So at that point in time, if you're trading alts, you actually don't want to be focused on the alt BTC chart. You want to be focused on the alt Ethereum chart. Because if Ethereum is outperforming Bitcoin, which would be exemplified in this chart being in an uptrend and going up, then you want to make sure if you're in an alt, that alt isn't just outperforming Bitcoin, but it's outperforming Ethereum. Because if your alt Ethereum chart is in a downtrend, like let's say you're in Solana and Sol ETH is in a downtrend, your money is better off just being in Ethereum itself, right? So definitely something to pay attention to. And I did 2 entire videos on this exact topic, and I highly suggest you go watch them. They're in the altcoin series playlist on my page here. All right, so let's look at a couple altcoins here. I will take 3 altcoin requests, guys, and then we will end the video, and I will get this ridiculous costume off of me. So I will start with Serum. Let's see. We had someone say Serum. Okay. Okay. I actually quite like this chart. You've got our price floor here, right? And then what you have that I like is this. Nice run of a bunch of lows here. So we're, downtrending, right? And then price is kind of stabilized, flattened out, ran all of these lows, okay? And we're now back above it. So to me, if you're bullish, there's your risk right there on that sweep. If we're able to get above $8, I think this thing probably rips to here. Right? So that would be the setup I'm looking for on Serum. Something like this. Above here, I think that becomes your target. So pretty good look. I like the chart. Gold star for whoever suggested it. Okay, so I like this sweep. I like that we're holding support here. Assuming Ethereum doesn't shit the bed, Bitcoin doesn't shit the bed. If this can get above $8, I think it goes to 10. And that's a pretty decent move. Right? 25% or so. I should have known that math in my head, but forgive me. All right. PYR. If you want analysis on PYR, go look at Trader SZ's charts. He's been, I'm not even in that. I wish I was. He's been crushing it and charting it for like the last month since it was like under $1 to now wherever it is at $12. All right, bunch of people saying Atom. Let's take a look at Atom. I charted this not that long ago, right? And I talked about how, like, I like how it's consolidating above the previous all-time high, right? We've got our daily order block here that's acting as support. There's your previous all-time high level. Well, not all-time high, but the all-time high close previously. That was the previous all-time high technically. I like that we were consolidating above here. We kind of had this downtrend line, right? That broke out. We're now kind of retesting. I mean, this is like some very choppy PA, right? Like you have some, fuck off. A lot of big wicks here, and this move fully retraced, this move fully retraced, fully retraced, fully retraced. So I like that it's consolidating up here, but I want to see this thing put like a breakout candle in now. It's getting kind of frustrating. I'm personally long Atom. What the fuck is that? I'm personally long Atom right now, and have been for a while, and it's just kind of been hovering around just above break even for me. But I kind of want to see this play out now, right? We've got our breakout of the downtrend line. We put in a nice candle, come back, retest the order block, right? That put in the breakout. Let's now see some trend form here. I want to see this thing start to trend as opposed to this fucking sideways ugly chop. Can I explain why my ETH target on my swing trade idea is 5K? I mean, I think if ETH breaks out, it goes higher than 5K. But I think 5K being a psychological number, right? A big round number, 5K Ethereum, it makes it a good target, right? Numbers like 5K, 10K, 20K, 30K, 40K. These are psychological numbers that have been proven to be areas that people will oftentimes leave orders at, right? But whether it's to buy or to sell, because psychologically, like, okay, nice round number, 5K Ethereum, right? So maybe it blasts right through that, or maybe it hits that and then drops because a bunch of people have their sell orders there. But I don't know. But I like the 5K number, and you can target higher if you want. Again, you don't have to close the entire trade. If we break out and you think we're going way higher, leave it open or take a portion off and trail your stop. There's so many things you can do. I was just giving you an example. All right, spell. I mean, yeah, this is fucking a pretty sick uptrend here. Not a ton of price history, obviously very new coin, at least on FTX. This is kind of your area of interest for a dip, right? Back into this order block, and back into this kind of SR flip, right? Where that was your top, right? Rejected there, broke through. So this looks like a drawing of an uptrend, right? Like, so higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. So I think any sort of dip into here, right, is probably a buy on this thing. So I don't know if it gives you the dip, but if it does, right? If it does, you buy it. If it lower time frame, on the lower time frame, you might not get that, right? You might not get I hate when it's ugly like that. It pisses me off, right? If it comes down here, buy the dip. But lower time frame, if this thing's super duper bullish, right? You're probably looking to buy a shallower dip into here, right? Something into there. I don't know. We'll see if it gives you the dip, right? How deep is it? If Bitcoin and Ethereum are just going to go up and break out, you might only get a little shallow dip on this thing. But if it gives you a bigger correction, down into this kind of 2.5 cent area, is kind of where I'd want to be looking to start buying the dip. All right. Dogecoin. Fucking Dogecoin. I don't know. I hate trading these fucking coins because they've gone up astronomically, and I've made money trading Doge, but bunch of fucking smooth brains who just aped in because it's a fucking doggy coin, made so much more. It annoys me. Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say. I mean, technically, this is like looking somewhat bullish. You know, is this gonna continue and have a big breakout potentially? I would probably want to see us get above like here, right? Get above here, and I think Dogecoin gets really spicy. So above this kind of 31 to 34 cent area here, flip that, right? Resistance, resistance, resistance. Flip this, and I think this thing gets real crazy. Little bit of an uptrend going into it. Let's see if it can, swept the low, made a new high. It's now retesting the breakout. So you could argue that, maybe a stop down here and starting to look for longs here, possibly. But personally, I'd want to see us flip this zone. If we're able to flip this zone, I think Doge gets quite picante. So above here, right? That's what you want to fucking... That would be kind of the play I would be looking for on Doge. All right, we will do one more coin suggestion, guys, and then I'm going to... I'm not ketchup, I'm hot sauce. Come on now. Miss me with that shit. I'll do one more suggestion here, guys, and then I'm going to end the stream. Just gonna let a few flood into the chat here, and I'm just gonna randomly pick one. Okay, let's do mana. I see. Is it just the same person spamming mana though, or is it multiple people? I just did analysis on DOT. I think DOT looks bullish. Right? Any dips into the gray, I think, are for buying. Right? But we're effectively, there's an order block. We're consolidating right above it. DOT looks pretty bullish to me. Right? Ran the low. I think above here, probably pretty good to get into longs, above 46 on DOT. Okay, let's look at mana. I mean, come on, guys. What the fuck do you want me to say? Hard to do analysis on something that looks like this. I mean, there's no support high time frame until way down here, right? So, long way down. Literally huge parabolic move and like a needle top. Like, you don't want to look at this coin, right? You want to look at coins that haven't done this yet. I'm not saying that this can't go higher. It absolutely can. But like, if you're looking at this now being like, oh, I better buy after seeing that move, I think you're doing it wrong. Not a lot to go on here, right? Until literally the hourly, right? So, if it wants to make another move, got to get above here, right? Get above this. Maybe it has another leg in it, but if it gets below here, right? If it gets below here, I think it could have a big dump, right? So this thing's had a huge parabolic move. So, you don't want to chase something that's already had, just in the last couple days, it's up 200%, right? Like literally in the month of October, right? This thing did a 5x just in the last month. So, you want to find coins that haven't done this yet, ideally, but this is what I would see short term on Mana. Happy Halloween, bro. But yeah, that's what I see short term. All right, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got some laughs out of my silly costume. Yeah, the best part about Mana is the Barry Siebert dunk on Larry Cermak, retweeting it from like 3 years ago. That's pretty fucking funny. Petty as hell, but that's what makes it funny. But all right, guys, I hope everyone has a happy Halloween. If you're in my part of the world and you're going out tonight, trick-or-treating or partying, be safe, obviously. If you got any questions, leave them in the comments of the video. I do respond to my YouTube comments. Join the Discord, the link to my Discord. If you DM me asking to join the Discord, I'm not going to let you in. Because I say this all the time. There's literally a link to join in my Twitter bio. So check that out. Go watch my old videos. Like I said, tons of concepts I teach in these previous videos. Range trading, weekly open strategies, top-down analysis. Just go watch old streams. There's tons of good stuff in there, tons of sauce. Shout out to Delta, obviously. Thank you so much for being in partnership with me for these streams. So please check them out. Sign up. Use the link in the description. Sign up, deposit, get some free money. It helps me out. If you have any questions, you can always DM me, hit me up in Discord, tweet at me. I will do my best to respond. I will be getting back on the altcoin streams this week. So I should have a new YouTube video coming out on Thursday, maybe even earlier, maybe Wednesday. I'm going to start recording it tomorrow. We'll just see how fast I can get it turned around to my editor. But yeah, as usual, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. I will talk to you soon. Signing off.